Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Crypto Ginger here. Hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I do apologize for the lack of video content for the last couple of weeks. I've definitely been dealing with my own little personal issues, and of course I had to even get into my own little XRP piggy bank to help take care of some of those things on my personal end. So I feel like I'm kind of starting over again, and I'm hopeful that I'll be able to catch the wind and of course ride these little sales through when it comes to the actual momentum happening with XRP, even really the cryptocurrency space. As a matter of fact, if we look here at these charts on CoinMarketCap, and I'm just simply going to use this as a quick reference here, you can see all the way to the right that your top performing coins really are doing pretty well right now. Some pretty nice little gains that took place within the last 24 to 48 hours if you've been paying attention, especially with XRP. It's had some pretty nice little rallies going on. It is still maintaining its rallies. You can see it's in the positive when it comes to the amount of change by comparison to even Bitcoin and Ethereum. So still, we're seeing some nice momentum happening. It is something we've already seen. XRP hit 45 cents. It broke that particular barrier. So the next target is 46. It is speculated that if it can hit past 46, then we might be able to see this thing shoot up to roughly around 50 cents, even close to $1. There's a lot of speculation as to where this can actually go. And from a TA point of view, here is just a quick article talking a little bit more about the particular trends taking place with XRP. This is from News BTC, talking a little bit more from the technical analysis side of things. As you can see, someone already charted out what's happening with XRP, and they give little line indicators there. And if we are seeing this kind of momentum with XRP, it's quite possible that the retracement that we saw happening with XRP earlier, where we hit roughly around 45 cents, getting close to the 46 cent mark, and then of course it bounced back down. We are now seeing what looks to be some correction from that, and we are now starting to also see it actually go back into the positive. So from today on, for the rest of this week, there's a likelihood we could see this thing hit 46 cents, maybe even 50 cents. Definitely let me know what you think we're going to hit by the end of this week when it comes to XRP. But as you can see here from a technical standpoint, if you look at the little chart all the way to the right, it does indicate the top marker being 46 cents. It's already got a line created. It won't take much, guys, to see that particular line breached, and quite possibly even past that. When we again hit 50 cents, that right there is going to be a psychological marker for a lot of people, and if they happen to see that being breached, we could see a lot more money flooding in directly to XRP. And of course, it has been mentioned through the XRP community on Twitter that we're likely to see a little bit of decoupling starting when it comes to XRP and Bitcoin, because we've been seeing actually XRP spiking up even before Bitcoin price points. So some things to keep in mind, guys. Again, let me know what you guys think we're going to see as far as a price for XRP by the end of this week here. And if we maintain on that technical analysis side of things for investors who are actually trading or doing day trading or swing trading, they're looking for very specific things that are taking place on the charts. For example, just recently we saw that XRP did what's called the golden cross, and that actually turned a lot of investors bullish. As a matter of fact, I think that this is something that people were just simply waiting for, because once a golden cross takes place on the TA charts for a cryptocurrency or any type of stock, it usually is a very good bullish sign and bullish indicator that we're going to start seeing more money coming into that particular cryptocurrency. If you're unfamiliar with what the golden cross is, it's basically when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average. And of course, again, from a technical analysis side of things, you would be looking at these particular markers crossing each other. And again, it does bring in a very bullish indicator for a lot of investors that are going off the technical analysis side of these charts here. So again, a very big move when it comes to what's happening for the XRP digital asset, especially now that we're starting to see very bullish trends happening for that particular cryptocurrency there. A couple other things I wanted to quickly go over as well. So with the next bit of information when it comes to the news I'm going to show you guys, I'm just going to quickly skim through it, but I want you guys to see the bigger picture here when it comes to what's truly happening in this ecosystem. And not just that, but for those bigger companies such as Ripple. For example, we have this article from the blockcrypto.com that talks about how blockchain.com loses Goldman Sachs veteran to Ripple. And we can see here that the former Goldman Sachs executive Brianne Madigan has left blockchain.com for Ripple. This is the second Wall Street veteran to exit the firm this year, and and Madigan was leading the firm's push to attract institutional investors prior to her exit. So not only do we have someone who knows money, but also knows this particular institution, and especially bringing people into this particular institution here and this ecosystem, this cryptocurrency ecosystem. So you think about that with someone who has a firm understanding about Wall Street just as well, and now being a part of Ripple, this will be absolutely huge when it comes to what kind of progress Ripple is already making, and of course the ability to bring even more people onto RippleNet. Again, this is very big news when it comes to what's happening, that expansion for Ripple, the company. You can see people in Wall Street, people in Goldman Sachs, they're leaving those firms to join Ripple. Think about how big that is, guys. You mix that information up with things such as Ripple signing around 2 to 3 institutional clients a week on average, and this is actually coming from the head of banking at Ripple, who happens to be Margin Delatine, another prominent woman figure as far as Ripple's concerned. Being able to bring more people onto the Ripple network is absolutely huge. And now that we have another prominent female figure coming from the Wall Street side of things, to be able to bring more institutional players into Ripple network is going to be huge. So again, we're seeing major signs here when it comes to the expansion of Ripple Network. And of course, we all know that Ripple has XCurrent and XRapid, which are available for any of these clients when they're on board. And of course, if we have an understanding of XRapid, it is making a use case out of XRP. Just another reason why we're going to start seeing a huge catalyst take place when it comes to the price point moving in a very good direction for XRP. We're just seeing major players jumping on board, not just the cryptocurrency space, but primarily going to Ripple, the company. So again, some major expansions are taking place here, some very prominent names that are working for Ripple, the company. I would imagine that for the rest of this year here, it is very likely we're going to see CEO Brad Garlinghouse's dream come true when it comes to seeing dozens of banks possibly utilizing XRapid, for example. So keep that in mind, guys. I know it's a little bit of information that we've probably already heard, but it's always good to know this kind of information, and seeing this right here on this kind of scale. Again, having more people from Wall Street jumping on board, being part of Ripple to help the institutional players coming into the market here. This is absolutely fantastic. A very big move when it comes to what's happening with Ripple, the company. And when we talk about the institutional investors that are actually out there looking to get themselves into this particular currency ecosystem here, this cryptocurrency ecosystem, they're going to be looking for those companies that stand out, such as Ripple. And of course, we definitely have major players that are already on board with Ripple, whether they are a partner or whether they're just simply somebody who is part of RippleNet. If you are familiar with SBI, you definitely understand that there's a major partnership when it comes to them and, of course, Ripple. I believe they purchased over 10% of Ripple, the company, in shares, and of course they acquired a substantial amount of XRP, so really puts them as a major player in this particular ecosystem. And just recently we got reference that SBI Holdings initially geared its exchange VC trade towards retail traders, allowing people to deal in 4 different types of cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. But just recently, an SBI VC spokesperson told Cointelegraph that SBI VC is currently offers services for the retail customers after their AML and CFT and custody solutions they're planning to implement are finalized. We would like to move forward and start providing services to institutional investors. So what they're going to be doing, instead of reaching out to those retail customers, they're now going to be reaching to those institutional investors. And we have 2 major players now that are part of Ripple, these 2 female prominent figures we just talked about when it comes to being able to bring more people into not only the ecosystem, but again, more prominently, Ripple, the company, and Ripple Network. Well, if they're actually doing that, I can't even imagine what SBI VC is trying to do when it comes to bringing in more institutional investors as well. And of course, if you're familiar with them, that is definitely on the Asian side of the market. So that is another demographic there that has a very big potential to bring in a lot of money, a lot of institutional investors. And it looks as though SBI VC is going to be focusing a substantial amount of their attention to those institutional investors now, with the deep pockets, as you can see here. So again, very big moves when it comes to any of these companies that have some sort of association or an affiliation with Ripple, the company. And as we speak on partnerships, it's really helpful to see other companies that have already linked themselves up as a partner with Ripple, bringing on more companies just as well. As a matter of fact, we just saw that recently take place where last week, Ripple-backed remittance providers such as Instagram and MoneyNet INT made the news with partnering with different types of banks in order to simplify cross-border transactions. After partnerships between BTech and Ripple-backed MoneyNet, another Brazilian-based exchange broker, Frente Corretora de Cambio, or the Front Exchange, has partnered with Ripple to launch Simple, which is a platform created to cater international remittance and tourism exchange. So this right here is a very big move for Brazil because there is a lot of tourism that takes place. Could you imagine the amount of money that's going to be flowing through XRP when it comes to the amount of tourism that happens there in Brazil? And especially with this kind of move here with this particular platform called Simple, being able to cater that international remittance. Again, a very big move when it comes to additional partnerships. Be on the lookout, I would imagine, for a substantial amount of news when it comes to more partnerships, when it comes to these little companies out there in these different countries working on different types of international remittance, and again, for tourism exchange. Again, another big move for Simple there with their platform, and I'm hopeful that we'll actually start seeing more of this development happening when it comes to these particular, again, partnerships happening for RippleNet. And I want to quickly give a huge shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf. He actually is pretty much on board when it comes to supplying different types of news and articles that are taking place that we just simply might overlook. So give him a follow at XRP Crypto Wolf. He just recently posted that G20 countries start implementing unified crypto standards. And of course, they agreed to follow the FATF recommendations, including in these concerning crypto assets. So of course, you have a link here. We'll quickly go to this link and just kind of get a general idea here. And of course, it brings you right here to news.bitcoin.com, where we can see, again, the talk of these G20 countries starting to implement unified crypto standards. This right here is a really big move when it comes to what's happening for the possibility of seeing some sort of regulatory clarity or some crypto standards happening on a global format. And I'm going to say, even if the SEC does actually wait as long as they possibly can when it comes to the United States making some sort of regulatory clarity, the rest of the world is not going to wait on the United States. They're going to be able to do what they want to do because they're moving ahead. And I don't think, if that is the case, that the United States is going to let themselves actually lag behind everybody else and wait until this whole thing blossoms before they jump on board. That's just not going to happen. You can see easily how Wall Street's making moves already to get themselves into the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So that's definitely something that we have as far as some positivity when it comes to the United States, and of course, hopefully in the very near future, seeing some sort of regulatory clarity. And of course, with this G20 summit, we actually could start seeing, again, a more universal type of crypto standard taking place here. So definitely give this a good read here, guys. I definitely think that when you're looking for more information about these particular standards, you don't have to look any further than the FATF or the Financial Action Task Force. That's definitely a big name when it comes to this cryptocurrency ecosystem. But the idea that we could see some global standards happening, this is a very big move for the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Imagine once that does take place and we have this unanimous universal standard for cryptocurrencies and it starts blossoming, how much money is going to pour into this ecosystem and pour right into your favorite cryptocurrency, especially XRP being one of these top performing coins that has the fastest and most scalable options there, again, out of your top performing coins. And the fact that it's only 43 cents right now, that is a steal of a deal. So again, guys, we're at the very brink of something that's going to be very huge for the next upcoming 2 to 5, 10 years even. And I think that this right here is just simply the start of what's going to be this new system, this new currency system we're going to be getting into, going from fiat to this digital era here. So let me know what you guys think about this. Again, definitely give this a big read. And again, thank you for this information, XRP Crypto Wolf. Again, make sure you give him a follow. Outside of that, guys, one last thing I thought was very intriguing, I want you guys to keep your eyes on. I know I've talked about this in the past, but when you start having articles like this one right here floating around, such as the Bilderberg Group to meet in Sierra City in 2019, this is definitely something to pay attention to. If you're unfamiliar with the Bilderberg Group, I would highly suggest just doing a quick read. Basically, The richest of the rich are part of this group right here. They're the people that pretty much have the direct say-so on what takes place when it comes to finances and money. And of course, this is on a global scale, guys. So we're seeing a little bit of information that they're going to be meeting up. I believe that they're trying to keep as much of this information as secret as possible, because the last time they had some sort of organized group meeting together, there were people that were protesting the group, such as Alex Jones. So I would imagine they're trying to avoid that kind of heat. But again, at the same time, if you are someone who listens to those people who have money, they say follow the money. And this right here is, again, one of the richest groups of people on this planet. So I'm going to be on the lookout for any news that might come of this right here. And if they happen to mention anything to do with cryptocurrencies and getting themselves heavily invested into the cryptocurrency market, I'm going to be looking at that as a very, very strong positive move for this ecosystem, and quite possibly a very strong move for the price point of all your top performing cryptocurrencies out there, especially XRP. And of course, if you have any understanding of what's took place recently when it comes to some of the biggest names in banking meeting up in the same room where Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, was at, you definitely understand that some big money is quite possible to flow into not just the Ripple network, but XRP, the digital asset. So something to keep in mind, guys. I'll leave a link in the description for this so you can do a quick read. But again, follow the money. Outside of that, guys, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Once again, I do apologize for the lack of video content. I'm going to make sure that I can keep on board with this right here and keep this information going. We are seeing some positive moves, some positive traction happening with the cryptocurrency ecosystem, and positive movement happening with XRP. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button, and please take advantage of any of those links in the description to secure your cryptocurrencies either offline with the Ledger or on your mobile phone with the Uphold wallet. Outside of that, thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.